China, I was in a rut where I was not sure of where to go because I didn't really have people that gave me enough information for me to use or utilize. I then started, I used this university application system for the United Kingdom to apply to go there, which enables you to apply to up to 5 universities, at which you pay a one-time fee for the application. I think I paid 120, if I'm not mistaken, but that application allows you to apply to, I think, a maximum of 5 universities. And because, I mean, like most universities, they had a time frame of where you could be able to apply and, you know, go there. I then decided to thingy, an agent from that system reached out to me because they mostly work with agents. Then reached out to me, and it was a free agent. I didn't have to pay anything. They asked me questions regarding my interests, what I wanted to study. Fun fact, then I was interested in studying law because, to be honest, I was very much confused. I didn't know what I wanted to study, but I just felt like I wanted to leave the country as soon as possible. So then they reached out to me, they helped me, I processed my applications to 5 universities and I did get accepted to all 5 universities, but no lie, the application process was not easy. Yes, I had to go through a stage where I had to present my matric results. I had to write a personal statement, which is basically about yourself, where you write why you want to study in this particular country, why you want to opt for this program. Yeah, I got accepted to all 5 universities. And after the acceptance, that's where they had to tell me how much I was expected to pay for my visa, my deposit, to secure my spot. So amongst the 5 universities, you can only choose one university. So the system or the software that is being used enables you to accept or reject. So you are only allowed to accept one university, and I had to reject the 4 other universities, which was a very difficult situation because some of the universities were now bidding, telling me that no, we can lessen your tuition fees by 20% if you come to us. And there I was stuck again, not sure what to do. Eventually, I decided to go to I chose University of Greenwich or Greenwich University, which is in England. And then I had to pay a deposit of about 60 something thousand. Mind you, that deposit was just for me to secure a letter in order for me to apply for what? My visa. That was like 60 something thousand rands. And above that, my tuition fees was going to be 400,000 and I had to pay accommodation fees. So in the middle of that, I was low-key caught in a dilemma because in as much as my parents were willing to pay for my tuition fees, my accommodation, I started feeling like this was going to be too much for them, in as much as my parents were supportive and telling me that, what, it's okay for you to go abroad. I ended up feeling like, what, let me withdraw my application and look for a more no, less expensive country basically, or a country where I'm going to enjoy being myself and being there freely without having any financial costs that I would be bearing. Yes, I know and understand that in the United Kingdom you can work part-time, but I felt like I didn't want to burden my parents, considering I had a brother and a sister that were also going to university. I wanted to opt for more something like less expensive and enable me to travel to other countries. That's when I started doing more research, looking more into Asia. I then came across Malaysia. I'm not sure if any of you know Malaysia. It's Southeast Asia. It's literally between Singapore, Thailand, and Indonesia. It's not so far from Indonesia. I then decided to opt for Malaysia. I had heard about Malaysia from one of my dad's friend's daughters. She had studied in Malaysia. So my dad was like, you know what, since you are withdrawing from the UK, of which, yes, they did manage to refund me my deposit, why don't you talk to one of my friend's daughters? She studied in what? In Malaysia. So then I got a hold of her. I asked her a few questions, and to be honest, she didn't provide me enough answers. So then again, I had to embark on another journey of research. I started researching on the number of African or international students that are in Malaysia. To my surprise, there were quite a lot. I checked on the tuition fees, the cost of living, the process of getting to Malaysia. which was, fun fact, one of the easiest countries I could ever apply to. So then in October of 2018, I got a chance to go to Malaysia. My parents were like, you know what? Before you then decide to go study in Malaysia, why don't you travel to Malaysia on holiday for at least a month, get to explore Malaysia and see if you're going to like the country or not. And while you're there, you can visit some of the places or visit some of the universities. So I was like, okay, fine, that's okay. 2 weeks before my trip, I applied to a few universities. And then after I got offer letters, I went to Malaysia on holiday alone, totally new country, didn't know what to expect, stayed alone in a hotel for like a month. I was visiting universities that I had applied to, finding out more information. And I'm not going to lie, Malaysia for me was low-key love at first sight, in as much as it was never part of my options, but it was a country I instantly fell in love with. Now, you may ask me, why then did I choose Malaysia? I'll give you the honest truth. My matric results were not the best, to be very, very honest with you. I didn't get, straight A's. I think most of my results were around 50s and 60s. And to be fair with you, I didn't do pure maths. I did mathematical literacy. So I then decided, you know what? I got a good grade in accounting. I think I got about 60. Okay, well, to me it was good. I got about 60 something I think 68 in maths. So I mean in accounting. So I told myself, you know what? Let me just go to Malaysia and do something within the commerce field. And I looked at my results. I'm like, okay, based on my results, the only subject that I was outstanding for me basically was accounting. That's when I told myself, you know what? Let me try and apply for what? Bachelor of Accountancy. And we all know with the results that I had, there was no way I was going to pursue a Bachelor of Accountancy in what? In South Africa. I checked with most universities, that I was quite familiar with. I checked their entry requirements. And yes, indeed, I didn't qualify for any of the universities that I had looked into. But then in Malaysia, I qualified very much so because their entry grades are mostly 50%. So I thought to myself, if I can go to Malaysia and pursue a degree that I cannot pursue in South Africa, why not? So that was my first reason based on my research and what I had experienced when I got there. I realized I could actually do a degree or pursue a degree that I couldn't pursue in South Africa, number one. Number two, Malaysian degrees are all what? Honors degrees. So if you decide to go to Malaysia to pursue a bachelor's of administration, it's an automatic honors, even if it's just 3 years. Number three, the other reason why I then pursued my degree in Malaysia is that most Malaysian universities collaborate with universities in the UK and in the USA, Canada, Australia, which means you could either choose to pursue at least a year of your degree in Malaysia and then you pursue to go on to the country that your degree is collaborating with. For instance, you're doing a bachelor's in computer science, and if they are collaborating with a university in the UK, let's say Nottingham University, you are allowed to pursue your first year in Malaysia and then the remaining 2 years of your studies in where? In Nottingham Universities. I was supposed to do the same, but unfortunately, I was impacted by COVID because when I got into my second year, we were already deep into COVID. So at that time, it was unfortunate. They were not taking any other students, transferring students. The fourth reason of why I then chose to go to Malaysia is because I wanted to do Bachelor of Accountancy, right? So at the end of the day, I wanted to be a chartered accountant, yeah? So we all know of SAICA, the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants, and we have ACCA. ACCA is a global board for chartered accountants. It's bigger than SAICA, no lie. So I realized that for you to sit for ACCA papers, you need to sit for 13 papers before you are a qualified chartered accountant. But if you choose to go to any country, including Malaysia, which has an exemption, you will get exempted from 9 papers. So then you only have 4 papers to write for you to be a chartered accountant. You may ask me, why do we get this exemption? That is because those 9 papers, you would have completed them during your undergrad. So it's not that you won't write those papers, they'll be totally removed. No, those papers are part of your degree. So in a sense, their education level is more advanced, while other people need to first graduate for their bachelor's, then come back for honors. you would have already surpassed that level. You would have already reached a point where you graduate. You can graduate at 21 with an honors degree, already 4 more papers to go to be a chartered accountant. So that was the other reason why I chose to go to Malaysia. The last but not least reason that mostly bothers most people, obviously, it's sufficient funds. Now, the truth is, majority of these countries that you might want to go to, consider Poland, consider the US, consider Canada, consider Australia, part of the requirements is proof of financial funding. They will want immigration or before your visa issuance, they will want you to prove that you are able to what? Sustain yourself financially. And you may ask, but then how do they do so? They may ask or they will ask you to provide bank statements which show that you perhaps have 300,000 or 400,000 in your account for 6 months consecutively without it being touched. They may want you to show that you've got 300,000 for 28 days straight without it being touched. That is just to prove it to them that you will be able to sustain yourself. So for me, in as much as, like I said, my parents were willing to pay that amount, I had already paid my deposit for the UK. I just felt like it was too much money unnecessarily. Yes, it's nice to go to the UK. It's nice to be in London, but I just felt like, you know what, there's always other ways to go through there. It's not necessarily now, but I could always go there in the future. So while I was in Malaysia, I liked it because, let me not lie to you, the cost of living in Malaysia is extremely very low, but the quality of life is very high, extremely high, to a point where it's just soft life 24/7. It's just soft, a point where I came back to South Africa a month ago. Certain things are just difficult. You might call me, we are Zenzis. You're doing it on purpose, but trust me, I was away from home for 4.5 years. Sometimes it just felt like you didn't want to come back home because why? You live in Sandton. Okay, fine. Yes, there are so many people who live in Sandton. Good, but I mean in a sense that you will have a very beautiful apartment, a very studio. You live alone in something way better than Sandton, something way better than most like places that are deemed as luxurious here, and your rent is like 3,000 rands, 4,000 rands, inclusive of what? Wi-Fi, inclusive of your bills, your water bills, your electricity bills. So that enables you to save money. I'm not gonna lie, that was the other reason why I decided Malaysia, because I was like, you know what? Instead of me then going to the UK and suffering, why not go to Malaysia where I can pay less? You may ask me, what is the average cost of a degree? The most cheapest university you can find, you will pay a degree 40 something thousand per year. That's your tuition fee, 40,000. That's the minimum you can find at a private university, 40,000 annually. So I then thought to myself, you know what? Why not go to Malaysia? And to be fair with you, I was in Malaysia for 4 years, and that enabled me to travel to so many countries because I utilized that opportunity to go to neighboring countries. I went to Singapore almost 5 times. I've been to Hong Kong, I've been to Dubai, I've been to the UAE, I've been to, different countries because you feel like, you know what, this is not the end of the world, number one. Number two, Malaysia has a very good quality of life, very good education because it's British system. They use a British system. You're not missing out on anything. So I'm not disregarding those that want to go to the UK. Trust me, if you have the financial funds for it, go ahead. Like, I'm not stopping you. This is just basically a message to those who may feel as though they would want to go abroad, but you don't have the financial means to. So yeah, that was my journey. I went to Malaysia. I'm sorry, I saw your question, but I'll answer your questions in a few. I went to Malaysia. No lie, I felt like I was old because I went to Malaysia in 2019 when I was 20, simply because I was confused and I didn't want to study in South Africa. I went to Malaysia. Obviously, the whole idea of Chinese people are smart. I was scared considering my results were quite low. I was very scared. I was like feeling intimidated. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be around the Chinese people. You know how they tell you on the news or what you see on the internet. I went to Malaysia with my 50s and my 60s in maths. I got there. And let me not lie to you, my graduation is in September, and I've graduated top 5 in my class. Came back to South Africa. My results have been out for a while. I've been applying to jobs here because I wasn't sure if I want to continue abroad. I'm low key in a dilemma right now. I've got scholarships from the US to come pursue my masters. I have job offers in London as we talk. Right now in South Africa, I have job offers from the big firms like PwC, KPMG to be an auditor, a junior auditor. I have pending jobs from Anglo American. Not because you might think that just going to a small country like Malaysia is nothing, but trust me, it's equivalent to the impact it has in the UK. So my point here is don't beat yourself up and say, I want to go to the UK, but my parents cannot afford, or I want to go to the UK because my parents can afford. It's not necessarily about what your parents can or cannot do. It's about you yourself. What are you willing to do for yourself? Let me not lie to you. In high school, I was not the best student. I was low-key naughty, we are I went to Malaysia, and if I had to read my resume for you, you would be surprised. I became the president of the International Student Society. I became the secretary of the Accounting and Finance Club. I became the head of public relations for the Accounting and Finance Club. I became the the vice president of the debate club. I've been working with big companies. I worked with KPMG. I've worked with PwC. For the past 6 months while I was in Malaysia, I was working for one of the biggest companies in Hong Kong. In Malaysia, they were paying for my rent. Mind you, I haven't even graduated at that time. I'm still an intern because in Malaysia, it's compulsory to you to do internship, which is like a learnership. I lived like a soft life to a point where the company was paying for my accommodation. The company was paying for my bills. I was just getting 10K for being a student. Every month, I was just getting paid 10K rands just for being a student. I never had bills to worry about. I got to see the world. I got to see the world. Malaysia has over 800 beaches and islands. I lived life. Like, that was the best time of my life. I don't even want to lie to you. That was the best time of my life. In as much as Malaysia is an Asian country, when you get there, let me not fool you. South Africans are there. Zimbabweans are there. You know, let me not, like, there are so many African students to a point where you are not a student 24/7. Your life is balanced. The Monday to Friday, you meet different people. You have friends from all over. And that is also your chance to connect. While I was a student, I met people from I was working for a country that was partnered with Manchester City. I got to meet players. I got to touch the Premier League trophies. It's small things it's big things that you can easily achieve. In South Africa, I felt like not even just South Africa, Africa on its own. So many things have to be achieved via connections. You need to know something, or you need to know someone in order to achieve something. But I wanted to be in a country where I am me, you know what I mean? People love me for me. People see the best in you. No one is going to come and say to you, yeah, because Wabako doesn't have connections, you don't. There you are able to be yourself. And one advantage that we have as Africans over the Asians is our English, you know what I mean? We speak way better English than them. So when you get there, they hear you English, they're like, yo, this child is smart. Meanwhile, we're not now we ask la aziko. But because we are spoon fed in Malaysia. In my university, there was no such a thing as textbooks. Like, I've never bought a textbooks. All they do is prepare slides for you. They give you your slides. You you study based on your slides. You know what I'm saying? So it was fun. Trust me. I This thing you're going to final year is stressing you. You have sleepless nights. Your stress does not exist. It didn't. I was cruising from day one. From I passed my matric with 50s, but I finished my degree, bachelor's of accounting science honors with 88% amongst the Asians, like I said. So that was just my message. Wuti, don't sleep on yourself thinking which abroad is overrated. You can go abroad and come back home. I am home right now and I'm getting job offers left, right, and center. I'm in a situation where I'm just like, what do I do? Like, what should I do? I'm just like, yo, bro, I just came home within 2 months and I'm getting job offers from the biggest firms I could never imagine. I don't even have connections. I'm not using my father or my mother to apply. I think it's like almost five now. I think for now, I'll open the floor to questions. If there's anything I missed, feel free to ask me questions.
Oh, we love it. Trust me, I
Thanks.
was smiling the whole time, and I think all the students here are really impressed. My word, girl, you're living the life when Nantombazan. I'm fair too.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yo,
much.
yo, yo. You know, like somebody said, this sounds like you live a vacation every day. Who gets to do that?
Let me not fool you. I got to Malaysia 2019 April. June was my first vacation. With 1,000, you can fly to Singapore, live life. Like that money is too little. Like you'll go crazy. Like you go crazy. That's when I decided to tell myself, I really wanted to go to the UK. I remember when I withdrew my application, I cried. That whole night I cried. I was like, yo, let me just cancel the UK, but let me not lie to you, sir. Going to Malaysia was one of the the best decisions I've ever made. As we speak, I want to go back. Like I don't even want to lie to you. Like I want to go back. I'm just like, yes, in America, I've received scholarships. It's easy to pass in Malaysia. That's the thing. Malaysia, we are spoon fed. There's no such a thing where you could see. And while I'm talking here, I've brought 5 friends from South Africa. Like I took 5 friends to Malaysia through me. They were like people that I didn't know. I don't even want to lie. People who went to high school with my brother, because when my brother was done, he went to University of Pretoria. Within a year of being in University of Pretoria, he was like, but he came to Malaysia and he didn't regret it. And let me not lie to you, my brother's maths was poor, and I know the students are suffering of maths. But last month, July, my brother graduated Bachelor of Computer Science honors. He's currently working in Randburg. He's working for one of the best companies. He just came also within 2 months. He's there living life. He's like, you know what? I thank God I listened to you. So it's just that thing you're going to see. Sometimes people lack information, but I understand there's some people who don't want to leave South Africa. It's okay. You can live and go get your degree abroad. Come back. 4 years is not going to kill you. 3 years is not kill you. Just leave for those 3 years. Come back and you'll see what's going to happen to you. Jobs are just going to start flooding because why? The quality of the education that you go there. Here, we all know, for you to get a degree that you want, you need certain entry requirements. You find someone saying, I wanted to be a pilot, but my marks, I didn't let that stop me. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be an accountant and I'm going to come back and show my teachers good. I still did it. Whether you thought I was not going to do it, I went. I was the only African in my class. And I feel proud with September, my entire family and I are going for my graduation. And I made history in that university. I was the black student the black student to pursue accounting, and I'm still the last one. So trust me, once you explore, you expand your horizon, your brain will just go mad. Like your brain will just go mad. And I'm sorry, I said I was taking questions.
No, it's okay. Listen, we really appreciate. Thank you so much. I want to begin by thanking your young sister Noctendane. I think she's done a phenomenal job. When she texted me yesterday, she like, say my sister, and then she just texted me now. I'll tell you, I'd completely forgotten about this because I have so much work to do, and I'm thinking, oh my word! And thank God, Lord sharing didn't happen. And I guess it's God's plan that you came through and we're having this kind of conversation. Okay, now, let's have the questions flowing through now. So what we're going to do is, you have a direct question to Rachel. You just lift up your hand, and then you pull through. Guys, this is one of ours. This is a South African like us. She's made it. All right. Soft life, hard work, blah, blah, blah. But let's appreciate the fact that she took the initiative herself. No connections, no what, went on the internet and all by herself started looking for stuff. That's where we begin with. So let me have your questions coming through right now. So what I'll do, Rachel, is I'll facilitate the questions, you give the answers. Questions, answers, stuff like that. All right, so guys, you can lift up your hand. I think there was a question earlier on, something to do with scholarships. Is that? It's like, are there any scholarships and all? So maybe in that aspect, the general fear is my students would be, okay, I'm coming from a disadvantaged family. How much money am I honestly looking into using here, right, to get me into Malaysia? How much minimum?
I received my report of how much I spent for my 4 years. Let me quickly go and convert and do the conversion so someone can have a rough idea.
Okay.
Let me just, I received a report literally for what I spent since the day I got there. This is basically my tuition fees, my water bills, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just convert that to rands real quick. Okay, sorry.
Guys, you are free to ask questions, please. Listen, Nokutenda, thank you so much. Can't wait to see you this week at school.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Yes,
so
go ahead.
I converted. So remember I was telling you guys that I wanted to go to the UK and my tuition alone was 400,000, excluding my deposit that I had paid for my visa, excluding my accommodation. For Malaysia, I went and completed my degree in 4 years. For my tuition fees, including my visa fees, application fees, accommodation, my bills, I paid 400,000 for everything for 4 years.
Wow, that's like
for 4 years.
Okay, that comes to 100,000 rands a year. That's cheap, man.
I paid that for, and mind you, when I'm talking about accommodation, I'm not talking about we are sharing. No, I'm talking about bougie. I'm talking about chairs. I'm talking about proper things where you feel like you're just on vacation every day. That's also inclusive of the Wi-Fi that I paid. That's inclusive of any services that are used on campus. That's inclusive of if I ever use the shuttle, the bus. This is literally everything that's contributing to my academic life. I paid 400. It was something thousand. So I just rounded up to 400,000.
All right, Don. Thank you so much for that.
And that's annual renewal, everything that has to do with me studying and sleeping. And yeah, I could just say 400,000.
That's your whole life. All right. Someone put a question. Thank you so much for that number. So guys, listen up. 400,000, that's what we're looking at into this. It's a possibility, it can be found, blah, blah, blah. So someone is asking, okay, where do I start? What website, what link, where do I go to? I would like to be an accountant, computer science.
Okay.
I'd like to be a chemist. I'd like to be what?
Okay, let me tell you this. It's like I said, Malaysia has a vast number of universities. Let me not fool you, like they are like crazy. We've got Monash University there, we've got Taylor's University there, we've got Asia Pacific University, we've got City University Malaysia, we've got KDU, we've got Harriet Watt University. So to be honest with you, it's all dependent on how much you're willing to spend. I spent 400,000. There are so many other universities that offer 400,000, but at the same time there are so many universities that offer way above that. So my advice to you is, for those who are interested in going to Malaysia, what I'll do is that I will write a list. I don't know if it's necessary for me if I would create a group chat with you guys, because I don't mind helping at all for free, because some of these universities I talked to them directly. When, for instance, someone wants to apply, I tend to just text them via WhatsApp, like, hey, I've got a friend who wants to come. Your offer letter can be processed within 48 hours. But before we get there, I will tell my sister, or I'll write down a list of universities that I totally are in support of or totally advise. Send the list to my sister and she can pass the list into the group. I will list down all the universities. Those universities are very easy to apply. Majority of them, once you get onto the website, you can see inquire there. Their WhatsApp icon is already there. Majority of these universities don't have this portal, where they feel like, hey, create an account, pay this. Some of the universities, most of them, they allow you to only pay your application fees after you've been accepted, because they're not going to waste your time and say, pay your application fees, and then say, okay, now that you've paid your application fee, we're going to process. No, majority of them will accept you. After you've been accepted, that's when they'll say, now you pay your application, part of your what? Visa fees. So you don't apply now. One thing about Malaysia, let me not lie to you, those people are too fast. They don't have waiting lists. They don't have these things. I would say you apply now for next year. They are never full. There is no such a thing as waiting list, because they've got so many beautiful and good universities. So there's no such a thing as, next year, so I'm apply now. No, you don't do that. You can literally apply a month before you decide to go. That's how very fast they are. Let me not lie to you. I applied, I think like a month before. They responded to me within 2 weeks. My dad paid the visa fees. Within 2 weeks, my visa was out. One thing about Malaysia, chances of getting a visa are 99%. The other thing is Malaysia doesn't have proof of funds. For you who may be worried thinking, yo, now I must look for a bank statement. No. The only way to get to Malaysia, Matric results plus passport, you are in. Just like that, the Malaysian government doesn't need to see your proof of finance. They don't care. They don't need to see all of that. So if you want to go to Malaysia, it's a matter of applying your passport, your results. Another thing is they will have to do a medical screening. When you get to Malaysia, you're going to undergo through medical screening. If there are drugs in your system, they're not going to ban you from their country. They'll tell you to go home and be clean and come back. I'm not saying you can't smoke in Malaysia. No, you can. But I'm just saying when you get there, they expect you to be clean. So for those who like smoke drugs, you'd have to take a break, at least for you, because when they get there, they'll take your urine. But once you're there, once you get there and you're clean, they will never test you again. They only test you once. If you renew your visa every year, they will never test you again. It's a one-time thing. They check also for like contagious diseases or anything that you can pass, like HIV. I once failed my medical screening once and I was scared to death thinking, good, I had something, but it wasn't even a big deal. I wasn't even banned or anything. They fixed the issue. So the chances of you getting into Malaysia are 99.9. Malaysia does not reject. The fun fact about it is that when you're applying for your visa, you can even track the application yourself with your passport number. You can, everything you can see, my application is on 90% or 20%. They'll update you to know your application is on this stage. When there's a document missing or there's a mistake on your documents, they don't reject, they put it on pause. It will turn to yellow where they tell you to know your documents have been put on hold because there's something not right. Then they'll inform the university to know, this person, her documents, we're not sure about this, we need this. They give you time, bro. Even if your visa is going to take 8 months, they don't reject. They only reject if you have falsified your documents. But the moment your documents are credentialed, like they're legit, they're genuine, you are in 90. You don't need, like I said, financial proof. You don't even need to prove them or they don't care. You just need your passport, your Matric result. That's it. You're in. You don't even need to apply for a visa in this country. Everything is online from the comfort of your home. You don't even need to apply for a visa. The university does it for you. All you need to do, pay your visa and application fees, submit your passport, submit your results. They will do everything from Malaysia. When you will receive a letter to show at the immigration at the airport. When you get there, that's when the university will take you for the medical screening. After that, they will help you settle, get you a bank account, get you everything. You know what I mean? So sorry if I took long to answer that question, but I will send the list to to Noku.
No, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Malaysia is heaven.
Please tell them to avoid agents. Avoid agents. Don't ever go online looking for an agent in Malaysia. Malaysia is one of the easiest countries you can ever apply to yourself. Once you find or come across an agent, just know it's a scam. As long as they need money, it might not be a scam, but you would be wasting money applying or getting help from somewhere you can literally get free information. So avoid anyone say to you, let me help you, but you gotta pay. I'd rather reach out to me because I'd rather help you for free. Don't do or go through that. Agents there will scam you with information that you can literally find on Google.
Oh, my word, you have no idea how grateful we are, hey? So grateful, my word. Where did you come from? Oh, Kosiam. Thank you so much.
I'm not limiting to those who would like to go to other countries, the UK. I myself have applied to the UK. I've applied to the US. Like right now, I was applying for my master's. I've got an accepted there. So even if someone would like to reach out to me and ask me questions about the UK, US, let me not lie to you. I've applied. Like I'm one person that has applied. Like I can tell you the requirements as I stand. I can tell you anything and everything. So it's not necessarily Malaysia I'm advocating for. Like I said, if you want to go to the US, you want to go to the UK, you want to go to Canada, just be prepared.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm running through a couple of questions here. So guys, listen, what we're going to try and do, we'll get, hey, Rachel, we'll have to put you on the deep end here, my mail again. We may need to form a group WhatsApp if you're free in that time, where people can be able to interact and ask questions and get help and get more. But I'm also suggesting, and we'll speak about it maybe later on, we're gonna do a TikTok.
Okay.
A TikTok where I got a lot of students and that's like thousands of them. So do a TikTok live probably soon enough. Maybe this week, if you're available, we'll talk on the phone and discuss. Then I'll let everyone know when we're going to do the TikTok live. Then we'll go through this again and more information that we can get, especially on issues to do with application overseas. Now, there's a question that comes here. It says, question, what are the challenges you faced during your first year in a totally different continent?
Whew, okay. The first challenge I faced was finding it hard to believe crime sometimes doesn't occur in other countries. When I got to Malaysia, I think I remember very well the first time I got there. It was not anything serious, to be very honest with you. One thing about me, I easily adapt to places. In as much as I was in a very small city, there were very few Africans there. I used to be stared at a lot. And to be honest, I used to take that as racism. I used to think these people are racist. Why are they staring at me? So it was just failure to understand these people. But I'm not going to lie to you, with time, I made so many friends. Those people are the friendliest people I've ever met. It got to a point where I don't have room for friends anymore because they loved Africans so much and they love Africans so much. So I don't want to lie to you. I didn't face challenges. Like, I don't even want to fool you. If there's anything I faced, those were good challenges. Because when I got there also, it's compulsory for you to have a semester of Malay. In Malaysia is a three-race country. They have Indians, Chinese, and Malays. So you get a semester of learning Malay. Malay is the language that's widely spoken in Malaysia. There's a semester for Malay. Malay is not even a pass. It's not a graded subject. You don't have to get 50%. You don't get 100. It's just pass or fail. And you can't fail. Like, let me not lie to you. Malaysia is not a country where look fail. Like, let me not fool you, bro. Like, it's almost difficult to fail in that country. I think the lowest mark I've ever gotten in Malaysia was 64%. Like, when I got 64%, that's when you're like, okay, I'll try better. But majority of my results at almost 60, 80, 70, 80. Like I said, bro, it's almost impossible to fail in that kind. Because we're just spoon-fed. Every information is just there. So for those who would be worried about learning the local language, no, it's not deep. You are mostly taught how to greet. Like, I can even introduce myself in Malay. It's like, hi, namasaya, Rachel. You're literally taught how to. Malaysia is an English-speaking country. They speak English. All the international universities are taught in English. English is like widely spoken. You get to any store, you're in the train, you hear English, you're in an Uber, it's English. You're in and understand. So they teach you basic Malay just for you to be able to go to a restaurant and order food. What's your, can I order food or this? Can I have nasi goreng ayam, which is like fried chicken rice? Like, just basics for you to maneuver. But it's not good. You're going to learn nah, you don't learn that. It's English. You're degrees in English, so there's no need for you to be taught. The local language is mainly just taught for you to just, find your way around Malaysia. But otherwise, to be fair with you, I don't think I faced any challenges in Malaysia. Like, I don't even want to lie to you. Most people who've come there, I've never heard anyone say they face challenges. Maybe the food part, but it's not a big deal. I mean, Malaysia it's diverse, and when it comes to food, you find anything and everything in Malaysia. So, sir, to be honest, I'd be lying if I said I faced any challenge.
Nice,
I didn't.
Nice. Oh my word. Malaysia sounds like heaven.
It was fun. Like, I'm not.
Word. Who says that about school? Who says school was fun? Varsity was fun. I had a great time. No one's great. None of us says that. So thank you so much for that one. Here's another question that comes through. I think this is during the application process.
Yes.
Utiana Ukukano, did you? No, that one has been answered. I think there's another one that comes through. Someone says, did you have to, do they require letters from previous high schools in your application?
No, the only thing they want is your matric results. That's it. Okay. Your final. Yeah, your past life has nothing to do with them. They don't care. Like, the other thing that could be a problem, and I would recommend to people to do it ahead of time. Normally, when you apply, they want your national senior certificate, yeah? So we all know how the national senior certificate can come after 6 months, right? So what I'll do is, most of the people that I've brought in, just get a letter from your school that states, this person or this individual hasn't gotten the national senior certificate because in South Africa, this is how it works. Just get an email, get an official stamp a letter, get an official stamp from school, get it certified however you wish. you're good to go. That's what I did with mine. My friends all did that. You just get a letter from school that explains, good to know, the reason why you don't have your national senior certificate and you're using your statement is because in South Africa, you get your certificate after 6 months due to nothing big. Like I could even draft an email letter for you. They don't care. As long as it's got the school letterhead and a stamp from the principal, you don't even need to get it certified. You just send your statement alone and that letter, and then your passport. That's it.
Okay, thank you. At least now we know about that. I think someone asked about scholarships. I think you'd already tried to touch on that issue.
I'm going to Malaysia is very stingy when it comes to scholarships, especially to us international students. It's very stingy. But then for those who would like scholarships to other countries, like the US, the Germany, I have so many universities that offer scholarships. There are universities in the US, they don't care about recommendation letters, they don't care about ACTs, they don't care, but they do offer scholarships. So I don't know, sir, how we can go about that, but I do know quite a few universities that offer scholarships, which is not Malaysia. There are some universities in the UK, Germany, so many, Australia, Canada, that offer crazy scholarships. You don't even need to go through a lot. You don't even need a recommendation letter. You don't even, they just offer a lot of scholarships. So that's more information that are out yet to provide. So I'm sorry to those who would like to go to Malaysia and ask scholarship. They don't give out scholarships, to be honest with you, because they know we pass too much. When you get there, you overpass, and then they're like, dude, what do we do with you now? Because have a sponsorship, they're okay with that. If you have a sponsor from your country, they take that. They're totally okay with that. But unfortunately, scholarships, I can only help you with scholarships to other countries, such as the US, United Kingdom, Europe, basically. For those who are interested in Europe, I do have information, quite a lot of information regarding that I don't mind sharing. But unfortunately, for Malaysia, nah, there are no scholarships.
All right. Thank you so much. At least we got the information there. I think that also goes to the question that came about that says, how about any info on sports scholarship? I think that should go as well. As I think countries such as the USA and all those kind of countries are pretty much big on this kind of thing. So that's also doable. So guys, I think we're getting as much information as possible. So to consolidate this whole thing as we're about to get to a conclusion, what we will do, we'll probably get Rachel's number. What I don't want is for you to be overwhelmed with messages. So we'll create a group and then you can just disseminate the information at once. And then we can just ask questions here and there, then get the process going. You've already brought 5 of your friends. We're going to be friend number 6, 7, 8, 10, 12. Then once we go there, end up having a province in Malaysia from South Africa here. We'll end up calling Malaysia Gauteng, something like that, man. We're going to be there ourselves with our friends, with our family and all. So guys, listen, this was brought to you free of charge. This kind of information in other places, you pay for it big time. We really want to appreciate you, Sis Rachel. I think someone called you that. Sis Rachel, thank you so much. You have no idea how grateful these students of mine are. I am as their teacher, as their brother. I just want to say thank you. May God bless you. We also want to thank Unoku for everything. I mean, she came out of nowhere. We've been talking about applying overseas. I also honestly didn't have anyone who has as much information as you. I had someone that I taught last year. She's in varsity, but she's always busy, and I'm struggling to get in touch with her almost all the time. So yeah, it's a good. She's in Georgia. So she this is beautiful, man. So I hope you're seeing the messages that are coming through. What we'll do is you get a message from me, go get your number from Unoku, then I'm gonna create a group, and then maybe sometime during the week we can pretty much start off this whole thing, get us the scholarships even outside the country, get us the links, and people start applying. Why not? Okay, guys, thank you so much for attending this session. Go ahead.
I would be more to help. I don't know if this would help. I don't even want to make them feel like I'm selling them dreams. For those that would like to see my Instagram, my content, in case they think it's, hey, Lona Manga, she's been traveling where, but it's fine,
No, you know what? Can you please type your Instagram? Type into your account. So let's be busy now. So follow. If you got an if you got a what you call a TikTok page as well, that where you post stuff?
I have, but I'm not so active on it.
Okay.
But I think
Instagram
let me just
yeah.
Yeah, I do
Okay.
have, but I just mostly post.
Okay, let's see. I think we got it.
Okay.
Let me send it also to the groups so that everyone can see the life of making good decisions. All right. So guys, listen, you're only one good decision away from having the best life while you're still young. So it doesn't have to wait until you're in your 50s, 60s. You can live the life that any South African would envy, to say, wow, this is how 24-year-olds live, buffet to, So thank you. And the job offers, and who gets to get job offers at 24 from big companies, and everyone is vying for you, And so thank you so much for the resolve. Thank you for your strength. Thank you for your dedication, and thank you for your time. I think I'm going to end it now here. What I will do is I've recorded the meeting. I will upload it on my YouTube channel, and we'll talk on WhatsApp. I'll upload it on my YouTube channel. Then people can be able to watch it as well and all that. So thank you so much, fam. Okay, now that you know what's going to happen, go study. Get ready to go to Malaysia. Get ready to go to the UK. Get ready to go to the USA. Come back speaking like, yeah, what's happening, man? Yeah, stuff like that. Come back ready to have fun. Take care, and then bye. Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye, and take care. We'll talk soon. Bye.